2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love Talk. My name is Angel D. Thomas, and I am your host. Love Talk is an online platform that provides tools, resources, and networking intended to inspire individuals to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Love Talk. Tonight's Love Talk is sponsored by Tony Sanders, who is a certified financial education instructor. Her mission is to financially educate and empower people to get life insurance, investments, retirement planning, and beyond. If you're serious about your future, hit up Miss Tony Sanders on Instagram at Tony Sanders CFEI. That's TONI Sanders CFEI on Instagram. Joining us tonight on Love Talk is Dr. Russell Leday, who is one of the 15 white coat members who are Tulane medical students. Let's add him on now. Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
How are you?
It's going great. Great. Can you hear me well?
Yes, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just well.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you so much for being a guest here on Love Talk. I am truly honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. For anybody that's tuning in, if at any point in time throughout the Love Talk you have any questions, type them in the comments below. So joining us tonight, y'all, on Love Talk is Dr. Russell Leday. Welcome to Love Talk. So let everyone know what city and state it is that you're tuning in from.
So I'm coming in from New Orleans, Louisiana. Well, specifically Gretna, Louisiana, which is just over the river.
I'm very familiar, yes. Welcome. So you're currently in medical school at Tulane University. So just briefly give us your journey as to how and you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so after high school, things were a little bit difficult. So I had very few options. And one of those options that I selected was to go to the military. So I went into the military and I ended up in cryptology intelligence. And after a few deployments, my wife was like, you need to figure out a different career because we're going to need you to be around for these babies. And so she convinced me that I could go to college. And I went out to college. I met some incredible scientists who helped me to understand that I was capable of being more than just a student. I could probably be a change maker. And so they introduced me to science and specifically cancer research. And that kind of took me on a trajectory of doing some cancer research at some prestigious places like Merck Pharmaceuticals and other places like Louisiana State University. And from there, I got an offer to go to NYU School of Medicine to go and get my PhD and do prostate cancer research. And I got some pretty cool accolades while I was there as well, from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute and Ford Foundation. And then from there, I kind of realized that the research that I was doing was really cool and amazing. But I didn't really understand medicine that well. And it was kind of hard to do biomedical research without understanding like what treatment is or how it works or any of that. And so, I spoke with some advisors and they helped me to understand that going to medical school is an option. And so they actually helped me to get into medical school. And I decided to come to Tulane because 30 minutes after my second daughter was born, I got an email from Tulane that told me that they were going to pay for all of my medical school education. And so that was kind of a no-brainer. You get to come back home to Louisiana and you get to go and get your education for free. And so, the thing that I kind of hang my hat on the most is that I've gotten all this education and the only thing I've actually ever had to pay for was the MBA that I'm getting right now. So that's kind of that's my journey in a nutshell.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Wow, that's all I can say is wow. And to see Black doctors is absolutely amazing. I just love to see Black doctors, Black males, Black females. So I just want to give you your kudos for that.
Thank you.
I see all the hearts coming in. Yes, we love it. We absolutely love it. So I want to talk about the viral picture that has been circulating the web. If y'all have not seen the viral picture, I got y'all covered. So this is one of the pictures, I hope y'all can see it, that went viral. And it was 3 of them, but I printed out 2 of them. And then that is the pictures that went viral. In those pictures are 15 Black Tulane medical students, and they call themselves the 15 white coats. And they were on the Whitney Plantation in Wallace, Louisiana, in front of a slave quarters. And that picture, or those pictures, have gained national attention from People Magazine, Good Morning America, CNN, HuffPost United Kingdom, LA Press Canada, NBC, Time Picayune, ABC7, Love Talk. All of these people have saw this viral picture, and it has just been circulating the web. So how did y'all come up? Where did the idea come to take this picture?
Yeah, so that's always an interesting question people ask, and I love telling the story because it kind of gets to the heart of why we do a lot of stuff we do. So one of my best friends actually came and visited. Philip Thomas is another African American male who went to an HBCU like me. He came down to visit me, and he came down from New York City, and because we both went to HBCUs, Black history is really important to us. So we decided we were gonna go to the Whitney Plantation and visit it. And I brought my oldest daughter along because she was supposed to be at tennis camp, but I was like, this is a little bit more important than you going and play tennis for a day. And so she came along, and she did what kids do, which was kind of be grumpy about the fact that she was being taken away from tennis and her friends. But on our ride back, she kind of hit me with something that I wasn't expecting it, but it wasn't outside of the reach of what she generally does. So she told me, she said, Dad, I was like, what's up, Malia? She was like, being a Black doctor is a big deal. She was like, I finally get it now. Now, this is an 8-year-old speaking to me at the time, and I'm like, wow. All right, okay, that's what I've been trying to tell you this whole time, but whatever, And then I was like, but what made you say that? And she was like, well, just think about it. We just left a slave plantation, and like people who look like us weren't able to be free. They weren't able to do, they weren't able to be accountants or lawyers or anything like that. I mean, it's and the guy had just finished talking about, they weren't even able to take care of their children. Like the children were raped and all the other things. She was like, but look at you. She was like, look at you. Like, you're already a doctor. You're going to be a different kind of doctor. She was like, that's a big deal. So I looked over at Phil and I was like, bro, my classmates got to see this. Because in my mind, I was thinking, if my 8-year-old daughter could get it, like, we need to see this for ourselves, And so, so after that, I came back and I talked to like some really like close people to me. So like, I had spoken with Jasmine Taylor, Sydney Labat, some of the people who are actually in that photo, Gabrielle Wusa-Ansa, Kristen Brown, who's also one of the 15 white coats and one of the managers of the company that we started. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. They actually automatically got it. They were like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. And so, when that happened, I made a few phone calls and sent a few emails. And Dr. Joy Banner, who's the director of media relations there, really nice, amazing person, very brilliant. She reached back out to me and was like, yeah, y'all could come here and do this. But then I pitched the idea to her, like, look, at the end of this now, we're going to take these photos, and they might be a little controversial, but this is what we're going to do. And she was like, nah, y'all should do it. Like, this would be amazing. And so, I told everybody, like, look, everybody wear all Black. We're going to bring our white coats. We're going to go and experience the Whitney Plantation, and then we're going to take some iconic photos that will speak volumes. And that's verbatim what was in the email. And I think it speaks for itself that they were definitely iconic, and I think they spoke volumes.
And I can't stop smiling because they really did speak volumes. And for your daughter to just know that is just amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And look what it has done. Look what it has done. And the picture is more than just a photo. It is way more than just a photo. It represents how far we have come because like you said, back in the day, we weren't able to do what we're doing now. So, and I think a lot of times we take that for granted, or we take it lightly. We take it lightly that we are able to do so much. So anybody watching this, I want y'all to know the power that y'all have, what you're capable of, because back in the day, we weren't able to do that. And I'm gonna show y'all the picture again because this picture represents how far we have come. Can y'all see it? That is the 15 white coats, and they're standing in front of a slave quarters. And those pictures, they represent resilience and determination. And it kind of makes me emotional because look how far we have come.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of embarrassed because I've never been on a slave plantation from what I can remember to experience all of those emotions and all of those feelings. So for you, actually being on that plantation, what were the feelings that you were feeling at that time?
Yeah, I actually love when people ask me that question because I love describing it. I feel like I had this, this conversation with my ancestors often. Um, and in that moment when we were walking, I was just imagining um, my ancestors just talking to me and saying like, man, look at y'all. Y'all look amazing. Y'all look beautiful. Look at y'all healthy. No lashes on your back. Look at you. Your children are with you. Both of my children were with me. My wife was with me. And then a whole bunch of my classmates were with me. And it was just, it was surreal, at least for me personally. But the great thing is that actually, so after we took those photos, we came back. And when we started getting some of this attention, we decided that all 15 of us would capture our feelings from that moment. And so we generated this document that kind of puts into perspective what everyone was feeling. And it's interesting to read it because it's kind of like each of us had our own ancestor talking to us. But everybody took something away from it that was so full. Like everybody walked away so full, and ready to go and do work. And that's why this 15 white coats thing has been so successful thus far, is because each of us have there's a purpose behind what we're doing. We're not just doing it for clout, Instagram likes and Twitter retweets. We're doing it because there's kind of this ancestral accountability that we're dealing with right now in terms of us being able to do this work. But there was also one thing that I wanted to point out that a lot of people sometimes miss from that photo is that the reason why the photo, at least from our opinion, is so captivating is because this is one of the few photos that exist in human history that captures multiple segments of history at the same time. Mm-hmm. Right. So like you have this horrible terroristic history to deal with. Mm-hmm. Right. And then you have this presence that you have to take into account of these black bodies with white coats on. And you just take into account that in America, we hold doctors in an esteem. Like in America, being a black doctor, I mean, just being a doctor means a lot. Like it's, you done made it if you become a doctor in America, and the last part is that you have to understand that we have the short coats on right now. At some point, all 15 of those black bodies are going to be physicians taking care of people, right? And if we did this much damage as medical students, you can just surmise what it's going to look like 10, 15 years from now. We're going to be on fire. Like we're not losing the fire, and we always have that moment to go back to, to capture our attention again and remind us that we have this ancestral duty to do our part for our community on a regular basis and not, get high-minded, make a lot of money, move off to a nice neighborhood and forget about our community. We got to do better than that.
I can't stop smiling. Oh my God. I hope y'all are feeling this like I'm feeling this. This is absolutely amazing. For anybody that's just tuning in, you're tuned into Love Talk, which is an Instagram live talk show that provides tools, resources, and networking intended to inspire individuals to be the best version of themselves. Joining us tonight is Dr. Russell Leday, and we are talking about the 15 white coats. So what is the mission of the 15 white coats?
Yeah, so the mission of the 15 white coats is it's three parts. So the first part is to reimagine cultural imagery, right? So our black kids or our brown kids, all of our minority kids need to see what they can be, right? You can't be what you don't see. Mm-hmm. And so and it's not just us doing that. Like, right, there's Team Black Men White Coats, there's Melanin Doc. There are a whole lot of groups that are really making an effort to make sure that this is more than just just show you something, right? So we got to get the pictures in the classrooms, which is why our main goal is to get 100,000 copies into 100,000 classrooms. And for teachers that are watching, you can actually just go to our website, the15whitecoats.org, and sign up for your free poster, and we'll mail it to you for free, no cost to you. The second part is, people don't know this, but medical school, it's very expensive to apply to medical school. So on average, it can cost between $3,500 and $10,000 to apply to medical school. That's that's a crazy number just to apply. We're not saying you're paying for medical school. You're just getting into medical school paying that much.
Wow.
And so you can imagine, if you take into account the economic status of minorities in America, that we probably don't have that kind of money just sitting around most of the time, right? So we feel like our platform allows us to have a space where we can raise money, um, to help alleviate that burden. And actually, before we end the show, we'll be announcing one of our new scholarships that we'll be giving out. And then this last part is, and we're doing that through scholarships, to mainly to students from HBCUs. And then the last part is that we understand that you have to have some sort of literacy desire, right? So you need to read a lot, right, in order to really get far in terms of, from an educational perspective in America. And so our black kids and our brown kids need to read books that kind of align with their lives, right? Like black and brown kids need to read books that align with their lives. Like they don't need to read Gone with the Wind or The Great Gatsby or, Huckleberry Finn. No, they need to read Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me, or they need to read Zora Neale Hurston, or they need to read Toni Morris's The Bluest Eye. They need to read books that align with their lives. And then they start to gain this desire to read. And maybe longer, further down the line, they can start to read some of that fictional stuff that doesn't actually align with their lives. But in the earlier stages, they really need to read black and brown books, right? They need to read those books. And so we need to put those books in the spaces where they can actually read them. We got to give them the availability to it, because you can say all day, like, oh, you should read this book. Well, give it to them. If you want them to read it, go give it to them. You don't mind spending $100 on some shoes. You should spend $20 on a few books for some babies. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how we look at this, is that we need to get these kids some imagery that they can align with. We need to get them some money so they can get into med school. And then we need to get them some books so that they can learn and put something in their brain.
Your passion, I feel your passion behind everything you said. Look, I got the claps, the yes. You are so passionate about what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
And it just makes it, when your passion is fueling off into me and everybody watching. And we need to know what it is that we can do to help. But we're going to get to that. So with every mission, you have to have a plan of execution. And I want to go through each goal and find out how we can help to get to make all of these happen. So we can help. So the first one I want to talk about is one of the goals is to put funds towards scholarships for students of color applying to medical school. And you told us that medical school can be very expensive, from $3,500 to $10,000 just to apply. Hold up. So do you get accepted when you apply after?
Nah, not all the time. Not all the time. A lot of people.
Do you get a refund if you don't?
Nah, you don't get a refund either. Like, you pay for a suit, you pay for a flight, and you don't get none of that back. You don't get none of that back.
Ooh. Nah. So how can we help in that goal, for that goal?
Yeah, so you could, I think one of the biggest ways to help is by going to our website. And honestly, I think a lot of times support can't just be one way, right? Like you just drop off some money and keep it pushing. I think we have to give you back something in return. And so, our photos are copyrighted and they're available for purchase. And that can serve as a motivation for people too, who are adults, right? And for kids in people's houses. So you could go to our website and purchase the photo already mounted for you. We have an artist who we're working with who mounts the photos for us in the New Orleans style. So, we make sure we keep that in. And that's at Reggie Art. And then the other way, you could just get the actual prints. And every dollar, we don't keep any of the money. There's no profit. There's no, utilizing this to give us some food when we're flying somewhere or whatever. Now, 100% of the profits go towards scholarships, go towards putting these literacy centers in schools, and then putting these posters up in these babies' classrooms. That's 100% of. We don't take not a dollar. And so that's the best way to help us, is to go to that website and get something in return. You can hang up that photo in your own office or classroom, or wherever, and serve as a motivation for yourself and tell the story to someone else,
Yeah, and here's what I want to do, and I want to encourage everyone else to do. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but I want to encourage y'all to help out in any way that you all can help out. So I have $100 in my Cash App, and I want to give $100 to the 15 White Coats Foundation. Is it called the foundation?
No, it's just the 15 White Coats.
I want to donate $100. It would be $1,500 one day. But right now, it's just $100 that I have in my Cash App to the 15 White Coats. And I want to encourage everybody watching, if you can, to pay it forward as well, because this is helping our future. This is going towards our future. So I'm going to do that as soon as we get off of here. I'm going to donate $100 to the 15 white coats.
Yeah. And in exchange, we're going to sponsor your next live talk.
Thank you. Look, somebody said thank you. Yeah, you are so welcome. That is awesome. So the second goal is to place framed and signed 15 white coat photos in schools around the country to serve as an inspiration to our future physicians. So tell us how we can get those in the classrooms.
So we are actually doing that. And the easiest way for people to help us with that is if you know of a teacher, if you know of an educator, if you know of a principal, if you know of a superintendent, tell them to go to our website. All they have to do is go to our website and sign their classroom up, sign their school up, and we will mail them a poster. That's it. Like, all they have to do is go to our website, sign up, and we'll take care of the other end of it. But our thing is we don't want, if schools can donate, that's amazing. And that'll be helpful because then we can pay it forward, right? But we also understand that sometimes schools are budget strapped. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to, stop our Black and brown kids from having an opportunity to see what their future can be like because the school doesn't have enough money. So we're willing to take on that financial burden as long as the teacher is just willing to go on the website and sign up for a poster. Because otherwise, we're going to pick 500 random schools, every month and just send out 500 posters. But we want to intentionally send it because we also have a message for those kids, that we really are personalizing for them. So the easiest way is get teachers to go there, and sign up their classrooms. And if the school can donate.
I know about 5 teachers, and I'm going to personally reach out to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to send them the website, and we are going to get these pictures in those classes because our babies need to see a representation. And I'm going to show y'all the picture again of what is going to be hung up in these classrooms around the world.
Absolutely.
Y'all see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
We need that. We need those in those classrooms. And y'all can donate at www.the15whitecoats.org/. It's pinned right there. Y'all, let's make this happen. This is our future. So the third thing is to place culturally aligned literature and learning spaces that tells the story of academic excellence from the perspective the children can identify with. So how do y'all plan on doing that? And how can we help?
Yeah, so I think with that, if people have donations of books that they find are, that they feel like align with what our third purpose is, they can mail them to us. And our mailing address is at the website. And also they could just hit contact, and by hitting contact, they'll just give us their information, right? And we could reach out to them and say, hey, what books do you have? And then we could partner with a few schools and get it done. But we're also looking so right now we're in the process of partnering with some people who are doing this kind of stuff, but just in barbershops, and trying to take this into the classroom, right, where the books are purposed for the identity of the children. I don't know how we ever got to a place to where we didn't take into consideration the identity of the children when we gave them literature to read. Mm-hmm. But we need to fix that ASAP because we know that literature plays a huge role in the future of children. And if we trying to do at all anything to curb this school to prison pipeline, part of it is going to start with reading. That's the bottom line. They need to read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. They need to read, Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me, and all these other books that put into their brain something that helps them to understand what their real position, their true positioning is in this world, and their royalty that they don't know about just yet because they haven't read enough.
Oh my God. See, your passion again. Yes. And I'm going to get the name of those books for you because I myself would love to read those books. Yeah. And I want my viewers to as well read those books. So y'all, I'm going to get the name of those books and post them on my page with all of their information as well. Again, this is Love Talk. If you're just tuning in, an Instagram live talk show that provides tools, resources, and networking intended to inspire individuals to be the best version of themselves. Our guest for the evening is Dr. Russell Ledee. So on Instagram, you all posted that you all needed help on picking a scholarship, on your next scholarship. And there were 4 different options, and I'm going to read all of them because a lot of people didn't see them. So the first one was to pay $250 towards a medical school applicant's travel expenses for an interview. That was the first one. The second one was to pay for an HBCU medical school applicant's MCAT fee, which is $320. The third one was to pay for an interview attire for 2 HBCU medical school applicants, up to $100 per student. And the fourth one was to pay for Kaplan MCAT test prep material for 2 HBCU medical school applicants. And you gave the your followers the option of picking whichever one they thought, would be the best serving. So which one got the most votes?
Yeah, so overwhelmingly, people thought that getting people test prep material was by far the most important one. And so I know we had initially thought, or we initially, had the idea of only providing it for 2 students. But I think it's our duty to push that up to maybe 3 or 4. And so we're gonna we decided on D, and we're gonna have our sweepstakes running this week, via Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where people can just all they have to do is like the post and drop their email, their HBCU email, because we want to make sure that we purpose it towards our babies. And we're gonna make it happen for 3 or 4 students, no matter where they are. We're gonna mail it straight to them. We're gonna mail them a personal message from the 15 White Coats, and then we're gonna get them a mentor, because I don't think handing off some books to somebody is good enough. I think you got to hand them off some books, but you also got to give them somebody that they can bounce some ideas off of when they have problems along the way.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And thank y'all so much for giving that, even opening up that avenue to provide scholarships for students. And let me see, somebody said we learn about slavery, but we don't learn about these slaves as people, who they were, where they went, and how they were framed, and how they framed our world as we see it. Yes, that is so true. So true. So can you give your social media handles and the website for the viewers?
Yeah, so our social media handle on every platform, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, is at the 15, and 15 is 15, White Coats. And then you can visit our website, just as is pinned here by Jessica, one of my classmates, the15whitecoats.org. But in all honesty, if you put in .com or .net, it'll send you to the same place. So just put in the 15 White Coats in Google, and it'll still send you there.
Beautiful. Y'all make sure that y'all check them out. I'm going to show y'all the picture again. These pictures are and will continue to be posted around the web and in all of these classrooms.
Yeah.
Not just classrooms and offices and bedrooms around the world. So my philosophy is be bold, be beautiful, be you. I literally say this all day, and I encourage it to everyone. So what is a philosophy that you live on and stand by?
Yeah, I think waking up every morning afraid of failing. I think that's how I get through the day, is trying as hard as I can to live with that fear of failing. Because I think a healthy dose of that kind of fear fuels you to give all you have at every stage. I remember, so that principle came from this talk that T.D. Jakes had given. Somebody had asked him, how do you balance being a father and a husband and a business owner and a bishop and all these different things? And he was like, oh, I just don't fail at the same thing every day. Like, so maybe today I fail at being a father, but tomorrow I'm definitely not failing at being a father. Maybe I'll fail at being a businessman tomorrow. And so I think that healthy dose of fear in failing at everything, and then just, being willing to live or maybe failing at something is how I'm living.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So at this point in time, I just want to open up the floor to you to say whatever it is that is on your heart.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who came and listened, paid attention. And I really appreciate people's enthusiasm behind this movement that we have going right now, because I think Angie is big time one of those people just pushing an amazing message. That's for our community. Toni Morrison talks about the white gaze, which is this looking for approval from the Caucasian community on a regular basis about everything you do. But I think it's okay to have a healthy dose of doing stuff for your own community and not worrying about, what somebody's going to think about it, especially when you love your people. And so, I I love my people in every shade, color, form, sexuality, whatever, for really just coming together and embracing this movement that we have with the 15 white coats, and pushing forward a positive message. We get enough pictures of black men and women in orange jumpsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we praising an image of black people in white coats, that's something to be that's something to be proud about. And I think our ancestors are clapping up in glory because we doing something that really recognizes the fight that they put forward to get us here.
I absolutely agree with you. And I'm going to show y'all the picture again. Here's the picture. And y'all check them out at www.the15whitecoats.org. We're going to get these in all these classrooms around the world. They're absolutely free to get it in the classroom. If you're a teacher, if you know a teacher, if you're about to be a teacher, we need to get them in the classroom. So visit the website and sign up there. And I'm going to reach out to the teachers that I know and personally tell them about this so that we can get these in the classroom. I'm also going to donate to the 15 White Coats at the website. I want to encourage you to do what you can. If you can't donate, spread the word. Word of mouth is very, very important. So let's help spread the word. Let's help them in everything it is that they have going on. We're super excited for you. I'm super excited for you. Continue to just move forward. Do what you're doing. I know medical school, is it tough? Let us know about medical school.
Yeah, man. Med school is it's probably one of the most trying times I've had in my life. And I say that because I think the thing that I struggle with most is wanting and having this internal desire to be the most amazing father I can possibly be. Because I had a challenging upbringing from the perspective of fatherhood. And so for me, that's probably that's my greatest accomplishment. I talk about it all the time as being a great father. But I think you also want to be a great student and eventually become a great physician. For me personally, I want to become a child and adolescent psychiatrist and work with mental health in my community. That's where I want to lay my hat at, mainly because I'm raising two Black girls. And I constantly sit down and spend this time with them trying to navigate their brain and how they're thinking. And I thought to myself, the luxury my children have, a lot of children don't have. A lot of children don't have. But if I have enough power or enough will to get them that, even if it's just for the New Orleans community, it would be leaps and bounds in terms of impact for the long term. But in the short term, we're preparing for a medical board exam in April. And we're in our dedicated period right now, which basically means that theoretically right now I should be in a hibernation somewhere studying. But I thought this was important for the moment and we needed to make sure we do it. So med school's tough, but I don't think I would be willing to say that our ancestors gave us enough juice to get through it.
Yes. And I want to thank you so much for even being on Love Talk, knowing that you're supposed to be in hibernation right now. Even more of a thank you for that. And
yeah.
I thought I had a comment. For the viewers, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go so you can go study. You can go into hibernation mode.
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue to just lift y'all up. And let me say this, because this is one of my goals. One of my goals is to be an invited guest on the Ellen Show. So if that ever comes up for the 15 White Coats, just give Love Talk a quick little shout out.
Oh, I got y'all covered. It's funny. I wish we would have had this thing going before, because we recently just came back from the Kelly Clarkson show. Yeah, we just filmed on the Kelly Clarkson show. It hasn't been released yet. It will be released real soon. I'll make sure I let you know when it's being released. Okay. Yeah, I wish I'd have known, because I would have shouted you out on there.
Yes.
I'm all about it. Yeah.
It's all good. Just if y'all get on Ellen, don't forget about your girl. Don't forget
about you, sis. I got you covered.
Thank you so much. And somebody said thank you for your time and efforts. Yes, that's my brother. Thank you so much. Yeah. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being a guest. I want to encourage y'all to be bold, to be beautiful, to be you. I'm going to show y'all this picture one more time. Iconic. Yeah. Y'all be bold, be beautiful, be you. Y'all have a good night. Good night.